The Chiefs Countdown Special starts now.
Well, welcome in everybody to our Chiefs Countdown Special. Over the next 30 minutes, we're talking about the game, the quarterbacks, the coaches. We'll hear from fans, talk about Super Bowl weather and more. First though, we'll start with the actual football game. The Chiefs and Eagles meet Sunday in Super Bowl 57 in Arizona. Now, these two teams, no strangers to the big stage. The Chiefs in the Super Bowl for the third time in 4 years. They won the whole thing back in 2020. The Eagles, meanwhile, have also won a Super Bowl title the last 5 years. They beat the Patriots in 2018 and Super Bowl 52. Now, this year, it's pretty clear these are the two best teams in the NFL. Kansas City and Philly were both 14-3 in the regular season, and they were both #1 seeds in their conference. Now, here's Patrick Mahomes on the problems Philly presents, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
They're great everywhere, so it's hard to pick one. I mean, obviously, I'd probably say the defensive line, just because, I mean, they're on a historic sack rate and the way they're able to get to the quarterback, and so everybody knows that everything starts up front, and so it'll be a great challenge for our offensive line to try to do what they can in the run game and the pass game of protecting and run blocking. But I mean, they got great DBs, they got great linebackers, and so when you have a great unit, it's about how can you execute and prevent negative plays. And they've done a great job, especially in the playoffs, of causing negative plays, and turnovers are usually what win and lose a football game. And so for us, we understand it's going to be a great challenge through and through, but the defensive line is a special group, and so I'd probably say that.
After watching this, I know you don't need any more reason to root for the Kansas City, but here you go. A local guy will be on the field for the Chiefs on Sunday, and former Missouri Southern defensive lineman Brandon Williams. Williams signed with the Chiefs back in November after spending the first 9 years of his career with the Ravens. Baltimore drafted Williams in the 3rd round back in 2013. He was a Pro Bowler for the Ravens in 2018. And when Williams was at Southern, he was a 3-time All-American and was the MIAA and National Defensive Player of the Year as a senior in 2012. Super Bowl Sunday, obviously a big night for game day parties, not just at home, but also a big night that takes a lot of preparation for local sports bars. Jalen Banks joins us now with more.
Despite the big game taking place all the way in Arizona, it's impacting businesses here in the 4 states. I had the pleasure of catching up with one local bar owner on how they prepared for the big game. Stacy Kennedy, one of the owners of Pickled Pete's in Frontenac, says she's expecting a large turnout for the big game. And because of that, the bar is prepping for the Super Bowl just as much as the players in the actual game.
This year with the Super Bowl, this is our first year with the Super Bowl, so I have 4 or 5 extra people working just to make sure that we can keep the buckets refilled, and so we've got extra staff on just to make sure it's clean and fun. Better have too many people than not enough. So
they have added extra seating, TVs, food and drink orders, and even gone as far as changing their hours.
We open 11 in the morning and we close at midnight. The grill's usually open till 9, but with the Super Bowl, he's going to stay late, cook as long as anybody's still eating. We'll stay till midnight. If the party goes on, I can stay till 2. We always do. Whatever anybody wants to do, we're pretty good accommodating.
Kennedy acknowledges that getting ready for the game wasn't just for them, but for customers as well.
I appreciate the customers that have come in and helped us to get ready for this because it's our first Super Bowl. They've covered a lot of games and stuff. They've got a bowl going, like the raffle. Yeah, we've got a bunch of fun stuff going. A lot of that was customers' ideas, and everybody in here has just been like family to us, and it's super cool.
I, for one, know that I'm going to be right here in this station on Super Bowl Sunday, but I'm sure there are a lot of people going to be out enjoying themselves at Super Bowl parties and at local sports bars. Now, we have 30 seconds here. You're a football guy.
Yep.
I know you know your football. I'm going to give my predictions later with Dow and Doug, but I want to get your opinion. How does Sunday go?
Okay. I'm a little bit torn. Jake Elliott, the kicker for the Eagles, went to my high school. Brandon Williams went to Southern. But in my heart of hearts, not going to choose my heart. I'm going to go with my head. I've got the Eagles winning 33-30.
Now, this is a Chiefs special. I don't know if you were aware that this is a Kansas City Chiefs special, so please don't turn the TV off, folks.
All right,
just because you picked the Eagles.
Please don't. Sounds good.
No, I mean, it's a Super Bowl. You know, it really can go either way. Now, it's time for our first break here on our Chiefs Countdown Special. When we come back, Doug Petty will join us to talk about the weather for the big game in Arizona and right here in the 4 states for your Super Bowl parties. Plus, we're talking about the quarterbacks. It's a historic matchup. Patrick Mahomes on one side, Jalen Hurts on the other. We're going to have more after this. Well, it's Kansas City and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl on Sunday, but it's also a historic matchup between 2 starting quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs and Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. And these guys both been outstanding in their young careers. Mahomes, he's been at it a bit longer. He already has 10 career playoff wins. Hurts has 2, both of those coming this season. I see the rest of the numbers there from this year. Mahomes threw for 5,200 yards and 41 touchdowns in the regular season, leading the league in both categories. Hurts doesn't quite have the passing numbers, but he's rushed about twice as many yards and has 13 touchdowns on the ground. Long story short, they're both super productive, and Sunday's game also going to be a historic one between these two. It's the first time in NFL history that 2 black starting quarterbacks will square off in the Super Bowl.
I think about it a lot. I mean, the quarterbacks that came before me, Shaq Harris, Doug Williams, that laid the foundation for me to be in this position. And it goes across all sports. If you think about Jackie Robinson and people that broke the color barrier in baseball, I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for them. And so I think about that all the time. And to be lucky enough to be in this position and to play against another great guy like Jalen, it's going to be a special moment. And I'm glad that we're here today. But how can we keep moving forward? And how can we motivate kids that are younger that are going to follow their dreams to be a quarterback? It's going to be a special day and a great football game.
This year's Super Bowl will be played in Glendale, Arizona on Sunday night. It's the 4th time Arizona has hosted a Super Bowl. Now, the reason the game is always in Arizona, Houston, Miami, places like that, because those places generally got pretty good weather in February. Now, if the weather's good Sunday, they'll play with the roof open in Arizona, and who better to tell us about what to expect weather-wise than our own Doug Heddy right over there. Doug?
Yeah, and it actually does look pretty good as we go into Sunday. Of course, Glendale is a suburb of Phoenix. So if we go to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, now in Arizona, the game kicks off at 4:30, but partly sunny skies for all the pre-gaming. As we get into the evening hours, 5 p.m., look at some rain starting to increase to the southwest of Phoenix, and some of those showers may sneak in after the game. So it looks like game-wise, it's really shaping up pretty good. Of course, LVII conditions actually are going to be pretty nice. 67 at 2 p.m., partly sunny skies. 69 at 5 p.m., 57 by the time 7 p.m. rolls around. And then here, of course, a lot of people are going to Super Bowl parties, so pre-gaming, 54. We are going to have a lot of clouds, but overall it looks pretty good. 51 at 6 p.m. Then once the game is over, we're going to drop back to about 43 degrees. But at least in both locations, we're looking at dry conditions. Leonard?
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be nice both for the game and for Super Bowl parties here. Looks like we're going to get lucky. Doug, thank you. And stick around. We're going to give our predictions here at the end of the show. Now, 2 local friends and Chiefs super fans have been taking tailgating to a whole new level. KOAM's Kerry Worthen has more on the story.
It's our hobby.
Yeah.
A lot of people hunt, fish, golf. We participate in
Tailgate and go to Chiefs games.
Chad Como, owner of Como Jewelry in Pittsburgh, and Chris Keller, manager of Como Jewelry in Joplin, have been friends for 20 years and Kansas City Chiefs season ticket holders for 16.
Part of the game day experience for us is having a big tailgate party and having all our friends and family and all of our kids and our wives are big time into it. So it's a thing we like to do with our families.
Being season ticket holders, Como and Keller attend all home Chiefs games in style. War Wagon, as they call it, is a 11-passenger van covered in Chiefs.
If there's a tradition, it's the War Wagon. It hauls all of our friends and family from Pittsburgh to and Joplin to Kansas City, and holds all of our gear and allows us to have a big tailgate.
Como and Keller host around 40 people at each tailgate.
Everybody kind of has a role to play. I'm kind of the red chef. I do all of the tailgate cooking. I do all of the prep food-wise. We try to theme our tailgate menu towards our opponent. So, as an example, if Buffalo comes to town, we've done buffalo chicken sandwiches.
With Philly, we would do like Philly cheesesteaks or something like that.
Even though the War Wagon is staying home this Sunday, it's not stopping these friends from watching the Super Bowl from home. In Pittsburgh, Kerry Worthen, KOAM News.
Go Chiefs!
Coming up next, we're taking a look at the head coaches in Super Bowl 57. Andy Reid for the Chiefs and Nick Sirianni for the Eagles. As we go to break, though, we asked for your Chiefs fan photos, and you guys delivered. We'll be right back.
Do it again.
Sunday's Super Bowl features a pair of head coaches who are definitely at different points in their careers. Andy Reid for the Chiefs, been at it for a while. On the other side, Philly's Nick Sirianni is just getting started. Reid is in his 24th season as an NFL head coach, while Sirianni just in year 2. Coach Reid, already one of the best of all time. He's won 21 playoff games, which is second only to Bill Belichick. This will be his 4th Super Bowl appearance. As for Sirianni, not gonna lie, I learned this just this week. He actually got his first NFL job with Kansas City. He was an assistant coach for the Chiefs from 2009 to 2012. He was let go the offseason before Andy Reid's first year in Kansas City.
Both professionally and personally, it was a big time in my career. Obviously, it was my first stint in the NFL was Kansas City. Had a lot of good experiences there. Met my wife there. We have 3 kids now. And so, you know, when we go home to her family's house, they're in Springfield, Missouri. So I get back to Missouri every once in a while. So both, and I just learned so many things from good coaches. We were able to win the division in 2010. Todd Haley was the head coach. Romeo Crennel was the head coach. And so learned a lot of football there that helped me develop as a coach. And then obviously the best thing happened there to me was meet my wife and then start my family.
Well, this week has obviously been a busy week of preparation for the Chiefs and the Eagles, but it's also a busy week for fans in preparation for the Super Bowl. Carrie Worthen joins us now with more.
Like the players in the Super Bowl, Chiefs fans from all across the area are making sure they're feeling and looking their best for Sunday night. Islana, Miami, Oklahoma is helping them do just that ahead of the big game.
I'm just happy.
Carbon Shoemaker and Luke Painter are being very patient while getting their hair done for their favorite Kansas City Chiefs player.
Patrick Mahomes. I saw Mahomes and I liked him when he started to be good.
Made Attractions Beauty Academy in Miami has multiple appointments from head to toe to show team spirit for the big game.
I like doing like the fun balayage colors, like just the funky colors that a lot of people do. It's like the reds and the blues, those are my favorite.
And no penalties, as the nail techs are busy with a day full of game day nails. As for the young Chiefs fans, they are ready for the Super Bowl.
This is fun. I like it.
I'm glad you like it.
Happy, I'm really happy.
Happy how his hair turned out. In Miami, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Go Chiefs!
You can find more information about Main Attractions Beauty Academy on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
I obviously don't have, hair styled up there for the game, and my nails are not painted, but I will still be ready for Sunday. I'll be wearing red just like you.
Yes, I'll be wearing a Chiefs shirt. So.
All day?
Yes, I work as well on Sunday. So.
Are you superstitious? Have you been wearing it throughout the playoffs and
no,
you not changed it?
No, I actually just got it.
All right, great news.
It's clean.
All right, when we come back, how the Chiefs' trip to the Super Bowl makes for a busy time for some other local businesses, plus a pair of brothers on opposite sidelines of the Super Bowl for the first time in NFL history. More on that after the break. Well, welcome back. The Chiefs' trip to the Super Bowl made for a busy time for local businesses. Our own Cale Chapman catches up with a pair of Southeast Kansas shops that went straight to work after the team's AFC Championship win nearly 2 weeks ago.
Businesses around the 4 states are getting into the Super Bowl spirit. Supernova Creations in Baxter Springs has been taking custom orders for Super Bowl gear. Jessica Moore says she's even made items for Eagles fans.
So I have actually had Probably 35 to 40 orders just from the time I posted it Monday late afternoon. But only 4 of those orders have been for Eagles. The rest has been for Chiefs gear.
Out of Line Designs in Girard, Kansas got to work on their Chiefs gear as soon as the AFC game ended.
We went ahead and made shirts. We went ahead and made the designs. I immediately left Frontenac, where we were watching the game, and drove over here at 9 o'clock, and I don't think I left till 1:30, almost 2 o'clock in the morning Sunday night.
Kirby says the decision to make their special shirts was made by his team during the game.
And it was one of those between my team and I. We kind of all had a discussion through group text right towards the last half of the game. And everybody basically at the end of the game, I think because of the adrenaline and the hype and everything that was going on, we all just decided to go for it. So now we're doing it.
Merchandise isn't the only thing you can get to support the Chiefs, though. Ma Jode Coffee has created a red and yellow Go Chiefs energy drink at their drive-through coffee stand in Baxter Springs. Reporting from the 4 states, Cale Chapman, KOAM News.
Well, for the first time in NFL history, a pair of brothers will be on opposite sidelines for the Super Bowl on Sunday. Tight end Travis Kelce for the Chiefs and offensive lineman Jason Kelce for the Eagles. Now, while they both obviously want their team to win it all Sunday, Kelce brothers know it's a pretty special night regardless of the outcome.
It's overwhelming, that's for sure. But it's so cool. It's just like I said earlier. It's so nice to see everybody, support my family. Everybody's in for it. Everybody's cheering for my mom on stage last night, and everybody's calling my dad and wishing him the best of luck. And it's just been so cool to see everybody, appreciate my family on such a big stage, knowing what's at hand.
It's always stressful for the people watching. I mean, when you don't have control on the field of what's happening, I think that's a stressful situation. I feel like when you're playing, there's a sense of control in the outcome. So I would imagine my parents would probably be the most stressed out. I think they are every time we're watching a game.
Well, it's time for our final break here on our Chiefs Countdown special. Dow Quick, Doug Hetty, and I can give our final predictions for Sunday's game right over there next. Well, welcome back. We're joined now by Dow Quick, Doug Hetty, and it's time to give our final predictions for the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl on Sunday. And the cool thing is, we haven't actually discussed this ahead of time. Of course, we've talked about the game, but we haven't talked about our actual predictions when we've been in here working. So this is going to be the first time that we're seeing the predictions from each of us. Go ahead, guys. Pull up this full screen. Doug, we're going to start with your prediction here. Tell us about what you think and why.
I obviously I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, but I think the Eagles are a better team. So I think it's going to be close, and I hate to say this, but I mean, I'm a forecaster, so I have to give an accurate forecast, and I'm thinking 27-26 Eagles. I'm begging that score's flipped.
Dow.
Even if you believe that, I'm surprised you said that out loud on television.
I told Jalen earlier in the show, he picked the Eagles too, and I said, this is a Chiefs special, right? Dow, Quick, go ahead, explain your prediction here.
Well, look, I know the Eagles have a good defense, but particularly as a pass rush, I'm counting on the Chiefs having learned their lesson from Super Bowl 54. I think they're going to try to slow down that pass rush, and if they give Patrick Mahomes enough time, I think the Chiefs can get over 30. We also think the Eagles have a good, solid offense, and they're likely to get close to 30, but I'm thinking the Chiefs will be over, the Eagles will be under, and that gives the Chiefs a win.
See, I like his explanation better.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of Chiefs fans do. I think it's also going to be a close game. I'm taking the Chiefs 30-28. I think, obviously, the Eagles have a great offensive line, and they're great on the defensive line, too, but I think the Chiefs' offensive line is going to take this week a little personally, hearing about how the Eagles' defensive line led the league in sacks. They're the best unit out there this week. I think they're going to take that a little personally. I do think they're going to be motivated by the last time they played in the Super Bowl. They kind of got thrown around. Not this particular group, but just the Chiefs' offensive line.
And the interior of the Chiefs' offensive line is particularly strong. I know their tackles may be a bit more suspect, but I'll bet the Chiefs will give them a little bit of help, and they'll do what they can to protect Mr. Mahomes.
I do think the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball as
well.
I do too. One thing I do appreciate, Doug, I almost went Eagles just because I didn't want it to be 3 Chiefs logos up there, because you see that all the time when the shows on Sundays before the games. Everybody picks them and then it goes the opposite way, and then the screenshots are shared all over Twitter and social media. So.
Hey, I hope I'm wrong. So
I had some doubts about the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and I was proven wrong there. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I think Chiefs will overcome what appears to be a lot of adversity here, and they'll win.
This is what it comes down to. For me, I thought the Bengals had a more complete roster in the AFC Championship, and I think Philadelphia has a more complete roster and a better team all around. But I'm not going to sit up here and pick against the best player in the NFL.
There you go.
That seems like a safe side to be on. Guys, thank you so much for being here. All right, guys, that is it for our show. Super Bowl 57 between the Chiefs and Eagles will be Sunday night at 5:30 on Fox 14. Like all of you, I know us three guys, we're going to be glued to the TV on Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to leave you again with more of your fan photos. We'll see you right here after the Super Bowl.